While the Prime Minister will kick off the day's events by inaugurating the revamped Ayodhya railway station, the day will culminate in a public program that's slated for 1 p.m. where Prime Minister Modi will inaugurate, dedicate to the nation and lay foundation stones for several development projects. In fact, listen in to those reactions that have been coming in from the seers on the excitement ahead of Prime Minister's visit to Ayodhya.
जितने भी हमारे देश के कलाकार यहाँ पर इकट्ठा हैं इस समय अयोध्या में, सभी लोगों ने काफ़ी तैयारियां की है और अपने अपने उल्लास उमंग में तैयार हैं एकदम और अच्छा कार्यक्रम कर रहे हैं। आज बहुत खुशी है इस अयोध्या नगरी में, जो कि हमारे परमादरणीय मोदी जी, योगी जी, सभी लोगों का शासन प्रशासन का आवागमन है। हम लोग कलाकार सभी लोग बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं और बधाई के पात्र हैं।
मर्यादा पुरुषोत्तम श्री राम की पावन धरती पर आना ही और पूरे विश्व में राम नाम गूंजना ही बहुत बड़ी बात है और बहुत हर्षित है आज हम सब यहाँ पर आए हैं। सभी कलाकार
आज यहाँ पे इतना बड़ा उत्सव मनाया जा रहा है, इसी में सम्मिलित होके बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है। इतनी भव्य अयोध्या नगरी है, बहुत सुंदर, बहुत सुंदर।
ये उत्तर प्रदेश का प्रयागराज का ढेड़िया लोक नृत्य है ये हमारा।
All right, let's cut across to Priyanka, who's joining us live from Ayodhya. Priyanka, good morning. Once again, if you can take us through the ground pulse in Ayodhya, the reactions that you're picking up, the excitement that we can see is quite palpable on the ground.
Well, absolutely, Samiksha. Good morning to you and to all our viewers as we are reporting from Ayodhya, and we are, of course, looking at a very action-packed day when it comes to Ayodhya city and the kind of developmental projects that are going to be inaugurated and dedicated to the nation by the Prime Minister himself, who is going to be landing at this particular Ayodhya airport itself at around 9:50 a.m. itself. And then, of course, he will be going, as you had pointed out, towards the Ayodhya Dham junction railway station, which in fact had been renamed about 3 days ago. And he will be inaugurating and flagging off the Vande Bharat Express and Amrit Bharat Express as well. And we have seen several trains as well that are being added to the connectivity of the railway station. But specifically, he will, the highlight, of course, is also the airport itself. And let's keep panning our cameras as we show our viewers as to what's really happening at the airport, as we talk about what exactly is expected through the day as the Prime Minister lands in Ayodhya in about an hour or so from now. And post the railway station, as I was saying, he is going to be coming back towards the airport. He's going to walk inside the airport. He's going to take stock of the entire airport as well. Let's try to come towards the terminal building, which has been very interestingly, Samiksha, made as a replica of the Ram Janmabhoomi temple itself. In fact, you can see how the pink limestone depiction has been made and the kind of engravings that have been made in the Terminal 1 building, that essentially is a reflection of what is exactly Ayodhya stands for, and that can be seen in the architecture of the Terminal 1 building as well. Even the pillars that have been put up are similar to those that will be installed in the Ram Janmabhoomi temple. In fact, we have seen a lot of these pillars made out of limestone that have been kept in karshalas, where essentially artists are engraving them to install them in the Ram Janmabhoomi temple. So similar artwork that we see in the Terminal 1 building itself, that is depicting the Ram Janmabhoomi temple. Furthermore, we also see how there is a pictorial depiction of the Ramayana inside, and not just one wall, there are several walls of not just Ramayana. In fact, there is also the Hanuman Chalisa that has been pictorially depicted inside of the airport during the time. In fact, near the baggage claim area is what we can tell our viewers, and we would try to show them. But this essentially helps us understand the kind of the significance of the artwork as well that has been installed inside of the Ayodhya International Airport, which is now known as the Maharishi Valmiki International Airport. Now, to also talk about the entire developmental projects, because about 15,000 crore worth of developmental projects that will be inaugurated by the Prime Minister, including that of the airport, that will be done today. And of course, the train connectivity that will be increased, the trains that will be flagged off by the Prime Minister himself at the Ayodhya Dham railway station. And post that, he is going to culminate the day with the public rally, where he will will be addressing thousands of people of Ayodhya and speaking to them about the developmental push that this government in fact is giving to the city of Ayodhya when it comes to the connectivity, when it comes to the business development here as well, because we have looked at the entire Ayodhya master plan of 2031 that has been submitted to the UP Yogi Adityanath government, and the implementation of the phase 1 of the master plan is already underway. We have been showing ground reports, Samiksha, for our viewers to understand how exactly the face of Ayodhya has completely changed from 2019 post the verdict that had come out, and since then the kind of developmental work that has been going on of not just erecting the Ram Janmabhoomi temple, but also in and around the radius of the Ram Janmabhoomi temple, how there are several townships that are going to come up. In fact, particularly there is a greenfield township as well to the tune of 2,130 crores that the Prime Minister is also going to be laying the foundation stone for today, and that township is also reflective of the kind of push that is being given by the government as a part of this master plan 2031 of Ayodhya. And essentially how we will also see there will be several other hotels and other townships as well that will be coming up, because what we see the philosophy of this entire government, Samiksha, what we understand from the ground as well, is that how they are trying to push Ayodhya towards it being an international religious tourist destination that is going to be developed like that, and they are in fact saying that this will be started to be reflected in the coming 2 years itself. And in fact, we had been also able to speak with General VK Singh just about a few minutes ago, and he had also given us a hint that in fact you will be able to see the first international flight take off and land at the Ayodhya airport in perhaps a year from now. So that essentially helps us understand which direction is Ayodhya really going towards, and today is in fact the crescendo of that discussion when it comes to the developmental push for Ayodhya and the kind of roadmap that has been laid out for the development of Ayodhya as well. Now, apart from these two major projects, as I pointed out, of the airport and of the railway station, there is of course the Greenfield Township as well that will be laid the foundation stone for. But of course there are other developmental projects as well across the state of Uttar Pradesh that the Prime Minister is going to be inaugurating and dedicating to the nation. And of course all of this happening in the run-up to the inauguration of the Ram Janmabhoomi temple on 22nd of January. Because remember, Samiksha, a lot of promises had been made, a lot of tall statements had been made by the UP government, by the union government when it comes to Ayodhya, when it comes to the development that they want to do in Ayodhya. But we are seeing the first steps that are being taken for that developmental push on the ground, at least when it comes to not just connectivity, when it comes to airways and railways, but also the roadways. Because remember, another part of the inauguration that the Prime Minister is going to do will be that of the Ram Path, the Bhakti Path, and several other roadways as well that have been developed along the city of Ayodhya to join Ayodhya with the rest of the cities like Shahadatganj with Sultanpur. So all of these connectivity push that we will get to see in terms of roadways as well that the Prime Minister is going to be inaugurating. Speaking about Ram Path specifically, this is a 14-kilometer stretch that is joining Shahadatganj to Ayodhya very efficiently, and this is a four-way highway in fact that is also being developed. Essentially helps us understand how the kind of footfall that will be expected by the government and how they plan to manage it, because we are expecting by 23rd of January itself, the authorities had told us that over 50,000 devotees will start coming to Ayodhya, and that essentially will require a lot of infrastructure to be available to them so that there is no problems as such as far as the darshan is concerned, and also for them to be here in Ayodhya is also concerned. So this kind of connectivity push we are seeing in terms of the railways, in terms of the airport, in terms of the roadways, and all of that will be inaugurated today, and we will see a glimpse in the phase 2 of the master plan development that will be taking place in terms of the townships that will be established, and also several 5 to 7 star hotels that will be coming up, the other townships that will be established around Ayodhya, and how Ayodhya in fact is being designed as as a Vedic city with using the Vastu that has also been listed out by the architects and the designers and the urban planners who have submitted this master plan, and that helps us understand which direction essentially Ayodhya is going towards. And we will see through the day, as and when the Prime Minister arrives and he goes to all of these project sites and inaugurates them and then essentially talks to the people of Ayodhya. That speech will be something to watch out for, to understand where exactly this government wants to take Ayodhya, not just in the next 1 year but in the next 5 years. Samiksha.
Well, that's right, Priyanka. In fact, requesting you to stay with us. Let's play out that exclusive conversation you had with Dr. Rizvi, who we understand has curated the artwork inside the Ayodhya artwork. Beg your pardon, the airport. She talks about the Madhubani artwork as well as the panels that have been installed inside the Valmiki airport.
Actually, I have to say that in all the artwork, I curate the art, conceptualize it, but the administration, our honorable ministers, even the UP chief minister is involved in, saying, oh, let's do this or let's not do this. That just goes to show how important this place is and how I feel really honored. I've done a lot of art in my life, but I'm honored to be associated with Ayodhya. The nice thing about our airports nowadays, the last 1.5 years, is that we are actually following the vocal for local in letter and spirit. So every artwork that you see has been done by local artists. When I say local, Ayodhya, Ram Mandir and Bhagwan Ram is for all of us. So this is the one airport where we haven't stuck to only Uttar Pradesh artists.
So we've seen this one panel right at the entry of the Terminal 1 building. If you could also walk our viewers through what else will they see, because we also see the Hanuman Chalisa being depicted, the Madhubani artwork as well that is being depicted. If you could take us through the details of this artwork that is inside, and as a passenger goes through this airport, how and what they will witness.
As a passenger comes to Ayodhya, we come with religious sentiments. We definitely want to see Bhagwan Ram here, we want to see Ramayana here, and yet we all want to contribute. So that is why every artwork that you will see has been done by local artisans. We have Kalamkari, we have Pattachitra, we have Madhubani, because Madhubani is very important. People asked, why Madhubani? Madhubani is an art from Bihar, and we said Ramayana, Ayodhya is for everyone, and Madhubani, it's very, very important that it is here. And in fact, it was the Honorable Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh who was like, nahi, Madhubani kariye. Because Madhubani started as a documentation of the wedding of Lord Ram and Sita Ma. So we have artisans from there. And there is one panel which is special to me because, it is the return of Lord Ram. I have designed it in a manner where used the influence of Raja Ravi Verma. Now see, in Ayodhya, these are the concepts that everybody talks about. So the concepts are not new, the adaptation is new. So the people there are showcased like Ayodhya Vasi. So when you enter and you see it, I wouldn't want to say more because I want the surprise element there.
If you could also talk us through how this brainstorming took place and how many local artists who had been, involved in this making.
We have here, I think, almost over 100 artists have worked. And they have worked with religious fervor. They have worked from their hearts and their souls. So that is why, for me, this is really amazing. I worked in the parliament, which was beautiful, but I worked in so many airports, but Ayodhya is special.
Close to your heart.
Very close.
And how did you zero in on the artwork as well? Because there's so much to really cover when it comes to Ramayana, when it comes to Lord Ram. So how did you zero in? How did you brainstorm? How did you ideate this?
We ideated it with, what will show, what we want to show the best. And nothing like traditional arts to showcase. Because you see, all of these arts have started with these stories, with our religion. So I felt that the most beautiful ways, because Kalamkari is such an intricate art, and it has so much of lines, so much of texture, so much of colors, and you need that kind of vibrance. Because after all, this is the land of Lord Ram. भगवान जी यहाँ हैं तो बस हिंदुस्तानी जो एक भारत का एक फील है वो आना चाहिए along with all the stories.